Yeah, my name is Francis Kairu. I work for Tax Justice Network Africa as a policy officer, focusing on tax and the international financial architecture. Beneficial ownership transparency has gained a lot of traction in the past, I think, 5 years, since 2017 onwards to now. And I think most African countries have finally realized the importance of beneficial ownership transparency. We currently have several African countries that have changed their laws to conform with international based standards on beneficial ownership. Countries like Zambia have formulated a new law on beneficial ownership. Zimbabwe has a new Companies Act that also incorporates requirements on beneficial ownership. Kenya as well. And then we have other countries that are catching up in the process of developing their laws on beneficial ownership transparency. And I think it is important to note that beneficial ownership is a major requirement for any government that is keen on enhancing corporate transparency within their nation. It is also an important thing for the sovereignty of any nation. It is important for nations to understand, for example, which companies are trading with government, that is in public procurement. It is important for countries to know who they are giving their mineral rights to. This is in regards to the extractive sector. Who are we giving our mineral rights to? Because it is companies that come, but who are the faces behind these companies? In addition to that, on matters of taxation, corporates have been evading tax in the billions of dollars across Africa for many years. If we are to net corporates and bring them back into the tax fold, we need to understand who they are. Additionally, most of the blueprints of development for these countries are saying that we will focus on domestic resource mobilization. That will not happen if we do not get beneficial ownership transparency correct in these countries. I know that the current status is that there's a patchwork of legal instruments that exist across Africa, but they need to be strengthened, they need to be implemented, they need to be made sure that they are working for all corporates. Those countries that are lagging behind, we want to call on them to start doing even more, to pass laws on beneficial ownership, to implement a beneficial ownership register, and to ensure that indeed the requirements for beneficial ownership are happening even for designated non-financial businesses like insurance companies. In addition, I want to mention that the next challenge for development for our SDGs between now and 2030, when we committed to improve our nations, the major challenge will be domestic resource mobilization. Reliance on aid is waning. Reliance on debt is not sustainable. Nations need to rely on domestic resource mobilization. That will not happen if we will not have enough corporates paying their fair share of their taxes. That can only happen if we have beneficial ownership transparency across Africa, across the developing world.